Awesome sauce. Hey, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are and where you're listening. And welcome to Swahili Sunday. And if you are listening after the fact, thank you so much for tuning in. I am, wow, it's been a whirlwind week. I don't think I've posted even anything all week because I really wasn't feeling good. Last week, I came on for 5 minutes, I think, of Swahili Sunday, and I felt really awful. Friday, the 28th of October, I was speaking and it was great. But I started feeling some dizziness, and I've had dizziness before, and I've been told it's hydration issues. I've been told it could be vertigo, whatever. So this started happening last Friday. I was really dizzy. Saturday, it was worse. I was actually getting sick. Sunday, I thought, okay, maybe I'm coming down with something, but it wasn't any other symptoms other than lightheadedness, and then I was throwing up a couple times. So people were like, "Oh my gosh, you should go to the doctor. You should get checked out, whatever." So I called the clinic on Monday. I go through the LA Air Force Base clinic because I'm retired military, and they asked my symptoms, and they're like, "Oh, you should go to the urgent care." And then they called back and they said, "No, you should go to the ER." I'm like, "Why?" Well, these are symptoms of stroke. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay. I don't feel like I'm having a stroke, but I am dizzy and it isn't stopping and it's getting worse. So I'm going to go. So I went to the ER and I was there pretty much all day. They did every test under the sun. They did blood work, obviously. And then they had me do some blood pressure, sitting, standing, laying down to see if that changed. They did a CAT scan, they did an MRI of my brain, all of this type of thing, and they pretty much cleared me and said I was okay. So basically, that I have vertigo. And I work with a chiropractor, and he thinks it's more my adrenal system, but it could be the crystals in my ears. So I'm working through all that. Thankfully, it like sort of cleared up by the end of the week, and I was able to do the Irvine Fine Arts Fair yesterday. So the Irvine Fine Arts Fair is a thing in the city of Irvine that they do every year. It's one of those things that you have to submit to get approved. You have to show your products, you have to show your booth setup. And I did this last year, and they have a hangar. So the Irvine Fine Arts Fair is at the Great Park. The Great Park used to be a Marine Corps base, and they have turned it into a great park, and they actually repurposed a couple of the hangars. And one of the hangars is where I was last year, which is a smaller space, and I did pretty well. But oh gosh, it was really cold in there. And I thought, well, I have more product, I have a bigger setup. Let me do an outdoor space. And so, I'm really sore today from that. And I set up, and luckily they had some volunteers. I want to give a shout out to Brother Big Will from my veterans group at church, who actually helped me load up on Thursday night because our creative director, Vanessa, has also been feeling under the weather for about a week. She's had the respiratory thing that's been going around Orange County. And so praying for her and her family. A lot of her family has it, praying for their recovery, and that everybody is going to be okay. So I didn't have help loading up the car. He came and helped me load up. And then there were volunteers there to help me unload and help me set up and help me break down and load back up. I did have to offload it into my storage. And I woke up this morning very sore. I felt like I'd done a serious workout. So is the next place I'm going to be is at a private event. If you want to find out the events where I'm going to be popping up, you can get on the email list. Just go to the basketsandbeatskenya.com and sign up. You get a 10% off code too. So you can sign up there. Let me find it right here, basketsandbeatskenya.com, and you can sign up and you'll find out where I'm going to be. The next, I guess you could say, in-person events will be the 17th. The 17th, let me see. Yeah, the 17th of November, which is a Thursday, is at the American Legion Post 291 in Newport Beach. That is open to the public. It's from 4 to 8 p.m. Really nice event. I'll be there, and there'll be a lot of other really cool vendors there. So if you want to start doing some early Christmas shopping, that's a great place to go. The 18th and 19th, I'll be at American Martyrs. Wait, 19th and 20th. Sorry, the 19th and 20th, I'll be at American Martyrs Church in Manhattan Beach. And then the 20th, we're going to be at another church as well in Long Beach. And I have a good friend who's going to support that one. December 3rd is our in-person private event, the Winter Soiree. There'll be information on that in the newsletter, and I'm going to start posting it online for people to register. You have to register for that to get the address, because it is at a private home. It's at the same place that we did Tea with a Purpose. So I'd love to see you come there, and we're going to have entertainment and some good snacks to munch on, and of course shopping with baskets and beads. And I'll always share a little bit about the story. Speaking about the story, I'm getting ready to add Leila. We have Leila with us today. She went on this adventure. Let me just add her into the stream. Good morning. Good evening.
Hi, evening.
Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see.
Oh.
Are you muted?
No.
I hate how technology doesn't always work.
Let's see if she can, not muted.
Let's see. Mute, unmute. You look great. I can't hear you though.
Thank you. You too.
I'm going to add myself. I'm going to add myself on my phone and see if maybe, I don't know, because I have my speakers on. Wait a minute. Let me test something, because maybe everybody else can hear you and I just have problems with my speakers. That happens sometimes. Let me just see this. Oh, yes, it is me. Great.
Yeah. That's technology.
All right. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go into with my phone, so I can hear you at least. I don't know what's going on. Technology, you gotta love it. And then I'll mute this over here. Enter studio. Oh, I gotta put my name. Okay, what's my name? I don't know what my name is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. There, I can hear you now. Yeah, it's like you gotta love technology. All right. Well, we have two views of me, so I'm gonna let's see which one of these I can unvideo this. No, I'm not gonna remove. Okay. All right. There.
Mm-hmm.
It's one way to make technology work. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome. I was just starting to talk about your I can't wait to hear. I've read about it. I can't wait to hear about it. So as everybody knows, we are starting a farm up in Mount Elgon, which is quite a journey to get to. And then rather than me telling you what Leila did to get there and all the things that she went through, including muddy roads and stopping in a home and actually getting to see the property, I figured I'd let her tell the story because she can tell it best. So I can't wait, and I'm sure everybody else is just dying to hear the story.
Oh, yeah. So the journey began in Nairobi. I took the night bus from Nairobi to Kitale. That's an 8-hour drive. So I left at 8:30 p.m. Sunday night, the 12th, and I arrived in Kitale at 5 in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, tell her, because everybody in the U.S. that's listening thinking, oh, a bus ride, you just go down the freeway. No, Like,
No.
like there's not really a freeway between Nairobi and
Mm-mm.
Kigali, and there's like the bus has to stop every like however much to go over these speed bumps.
Yeah, so you can't, like, I didn't get sleep. You know when you're starting to sleep and that moment, and then there's that speed bump. So the ride it's not that smooth. It's I don't know. You get there and you have body aches. That's all I can say.
Yes, I remember it well. Oh my gosh, just like that's why when we come, I'm like, yeah, we're not taking any bus or any doing that.
Oh, yeah. And it's like after every few minutes, the brakes just wakes you up. It's like, okay, what happened? Okay, what happened? It's like, so that's what happened for 8 hours. Then I got to Kitale and, it was still dark. So I had to stay in the bus for up until 6. Then I went to my sister's. I took a cab to my sister's place. It was around 6 and I was like, okay, let me rest for an hour. Then I start preparing for the next journey to Mount Elgon. By 7, I was up, ready, preparing, and I left the house. So I didn't have any much sleep. Took a matatu to the last town that actually cars, public transport goes to. And then now you start climbing Mount Elgon.
I got
So we agree.
matatu. Okay, the bus, and then there's a matatu. A matatu van, and I can only talk about this because I've had the experience.
Yeah.
And you're all crammed in. And the one we were in going to Nairobi had some. I was sitting on the speaker, and it had some music and radio blaring in my ear, and all crammed in there. It's like and going over the speed bumps and stuff. So it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna kick back and be comfortable. Yeah, that's rough too. And the whole reason that Leila was going up there was to look at the land and talk to ladies who were starting the farm with, and it was like important. We got to get this set up. So she was all right. So she takes them a matatu to the last town, but then how you got to talk about how far, because you got on a peaky, right? A motorcycle taxi.
Oh yeah. So we met with Hezron at the last town, and we took a piki. And I don't know what was happening with me, because we took a piki, only one piki, and we were 3 of us. And then afterwards is when I was like, why didn't we take 2 pikis? At the moment I didn't think about it. So we took one piki, and then we started climbing Mount Elgon with the piki. At first it was just smooth, and then we got to the peak now. The piki goes up to a certain point that it stops. So we have to get off and walk. We get off, we walk for a few distance, then the piki starts again, then we get on. So we did that for like, oh my God, couple of times.
Wait,
and
you
I was like,
get off the peaky?
Yeah, because now the steep places, even where the van, remember our van got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, we get to that place and the peak is not moving. So we have to put the driver pushes the peaky and us, we just walk.
Oh my gosh. Now, anybody listening, a peaky is about like a small, like not like a big motorcycle. It's like maybe a 250cc or something like that. It's like a little motorcycle. So you got 3 people, packed on. Oh my gosh, I can just imagine.
Yeah, but the thing, I think for me, because it's normal, you other pickies pass you and it's like 3-4 people. So I think in my head I was just like, let me just do what people do. So we did that for a couple of hours, which was tiring, but it was fun. In my head it was fun. And then Hezron started praying for the rains not to start. And he's like, oh, you see the clouds? This rain is almost, it's going to start anytime. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's going to start raining anytime. And I'm like, okay, but we are not even close to where we are going. So we start praying. We're like, okay, God, just 2 hours, and then we'll be there. And then he gets a call from the land guy, because the land owner was waiting for us on the land. And he's like, where are you guys? It's already raining here. And I'm like, okay, so what's going to happen? So we keep going, we keep going. And then, that last part now, we left the main road now, the last part now, it's now muddy, the tarmac road. We start going in and it starts raining. Not just, the little pouring, the Mount Elgon rain. It starts, heavy rain.
Oh
We
my God.
can't move. The picky guy is like, I don't think I can go further. I'll just look for a place. And so he left us on the road.
How far were you from the land at that point?
Like, I think it was another 45 minutes, because we walked. I tell you, we walked. So now we can't go on because it's really raining. I'm like, no, we can't. And there's no shades. It's not like it's a town where there's shops on the roads. So there's nothing. And the houses, it's like miles apart. You know how it is? It's like one house here. So we keep going and we see a tiny hut. And Hezron was like, let's just go into that hut. We didn't think there was anybody in the hut. And I was like, okay, let's just go wait until the rain stops. We get into the hut. There's a grandmother with 2 kids. And we just got in. The good thing is Hezron speaks the language, because the grandmother doesn't speak Swahili. So Hezron introduces us, and the grandmother is like, yeah, come in, sit down. And they were eating boiled maize, and I was so hungry. I didn't think the trip through. So it was kind of, so we got in, and I was like, I'll eat the maize. Give me the maize. I'm like, it's fine. So we sat down there with the 2 kids and started talking to the grandmother for like, I think more than 30 minutes. So we just chilled out.
It's like rain outside.
Yeah, it's, outside is pouring, and I'm like, okay, let's just stay here. And Hezron is worried. Is like, okay, let's also pray it stops raining, because it can rain the whole day, the whole night in Mount Elgon.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, okay, this is not good. So we chilled with the grandmother, and then at least it didn't stop, but it reduced. And we were like, let's just go with this rain. And I'm like, we have to go to the land. We have to go to the chief. We hadn't done all that, because our journey was cut short by the rain. So we still have to go forward. I'm like, I can't come all this way and then turn back. So we started walking, you know, the mud. Oh my God. The mud, the roads are slippery. Everyone was just looking at me, and now they were talking in their sub tribe, and they're like, "What is she doing here?" It's like, "What is she doing here?" Because it's like, really. So we kept going and going, stopping. There was, I don't know if it was a hotel, if there was a mandazi and tea. We got in. We were like, let's rest here for a while. So we rested.
One tea cures everything.
Oh, yeah. So we go to the land, and now the land is there's a river in between. So we went, saw the land. It's really a good place, and it's located in the right place. We were praying to get a land where there's a river, a source of water. So this one has it. I met the land guy, and he lives just close by. So he was like, I'm here to help you. So that was really nice. He's like, I'll help you because I've been doing farming. So he actually saw the land, and that was really, really great because that was the main purpose of going up there, you know.
And did you have
Now
to
after
land office thing?
Yeah, now that after seeing the land, now the land office is somewhere else. So we have to keep going.
You have to keep going farther?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, we have to keep going further now. So we after land, we started going to the chief's office. Uh but the good thing, that chief stays, he stays in his office up until around 5. But we sent somebody to tell him, please don't go home. We are coming because now it was late, and we didn't know how long it will take us to get there. And remember, the ladies are also waiting for us.
Right.
So we actually made it to the land guy. So now it was no picky, it's just walking. We walked, I think, for like another 25 minutes to the chief, to the office. The good thing is those people are patient. Found village elders and the chief just sitting there and waiting for us. Got in, we started talking. They asked about the land because now they didn't want also for us to get a land that is not. They asked about the owner, and the wife, if they've agreed and all. They did all that background check. Eventually, we signed the papers and we got the land. So God was faithful.
And
Oh,
like you weren't wearing like mud boots or anything. You were wearing.
no, you know me. I was just
But
wearing.
that's why, because I know. I'm like, oh, a lot of mud, whatever.
Yeah, I was like, so I was just, kama kawa, and they were like, I was like, it was terrible for me. It was like, I got to a point where I was wet. I'm like, okay, this is it. After that, now I was like, we can't keep going further because it's still raining. So we were like, tell the ladies to meet us halfway. So they had to start coming towards us, and so that we meet at some point. That's why you saw us standing in I don't know if it was a carpentry shop, because now we couldn't get to the church where they were.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really need to see them. So we met in the middle, and they were so happy. It was like, and I was like, it's all worth it. When you see their faces, and I'm like, I know I have to do this again going back, but yeah, in my head, I'm like, I have to go back again. I have to do this. So I met the ladies. They had we got the land. They were really happy because, they thought we had, as usual, they thought we had disappeared. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're still here and we're still strong and we're going to do the farming. And they were like, oh, we are so happy and glad, and we're going, they are good. They told me they're going to really work hard. So
Oh, it's so
that
great.
was good. Yeah.
How many total are there?
Up there now there are 15 who are serious, but we have others. I think they are around 45, but we were like, let's start with 15
Yeah.
because and they are the way they were having their meetings. I was just standing there. They had their meeting and all. They are so organized. And I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
They are way better than any other group I've met. But I think you could see in their faces and just hear in their voices that they really want this. They want that change. They want to change their life. That's all I got from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Uh,
we're gonna start planting in in January, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're getting ready in December, late end of December. By early January, we've planted so that we get the harvesting starts in March.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then when will they plant again? Because when we were there in June, they were harvesting.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like we harvest, the first planting is potatoes. And once we harvest the potatoes, immediately we put on, they were saying we do onions so that we let the land rest. So we do also that for another 3 months, and then we do it. So we are going to plant 3 times in that year.
Oh, good. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, my hope is that when we go up there, when I come back, it's that they'll be harvesting and we can help
Yeah,
harvest.
I think June it will be harvest season because it's the same time as I'm hoping you're coming the same time as this year.
Yeah, I
So
will.
it will be the harvest season. So yeah, you'll get to harvest.
That's how it goes. Um,
Yeah.
I'm for anybody listening that's interested in going to Kenya, I'm going to be putting out that info soon in advance of the trip. But if you want to donate to help with the expenses for the farm, you can go to basketsandbeadskenya.org. It is a 501c3 nonprofit, so it's tax deductible. If you have a year-end tax, you want to get a year-end tax donation in before tax seasons is over, this would be a great opportunity for you to really help a cause. We're helping women get off the ground with, developing a different kind of business than what we're doing with the ladies in Kitale. This is actually where they're going to be growing food, and our ladies are also going to benefit from the food. We have a plan about all that, and then to keep it going, and then maybe expand it as it goes, and help more groups of women develop their own micro enterprise. So if you're interested in donating to that, basketsandbeadskenya.org, any amount will help, because we'll have more expenses. We've already put the investment up for the land, but we'll have expenses for like the seeds and the tools and everything we need, fertilizer and all that to make sure it's a good grow. So would love for you to be part of this and help the farm,
Yeah.
Didn't realize we were farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great. And so anybody who's listening, Leila called me while she was up there, and I got to say hi to the ladies,
Mm-hmm.
and they were all happy and excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be part of this. Had no idea when, God's got his plans. I had no idea
Oh,
when
yeah.
we went up Mount Elgon to do our little women's conference and turned into be a big women's conference. Some women took hold of the fact, so just to remind everybody, we took the ladies from Kipsongo up to Mount Elgon to have a women's conference for them to share how this helped build their faith and how it helped to help them to form community. And so much so that now that the tribal elders in Kipsongo slum have invited Dorcas, our manager there, to be part of the tribal council, because every time they would make a change in the community, our ladies would be like, hold it. Nah, no, wait a minute. And they were finally like, oh, will you just have a representative? Because
Yeah.
something, So they've become amazing leaders, and we took them up to Mount Elgon to have them. When we had a big conference, broke up into groups, and like 2 or 3 of the ladies were talking with the group on how they formed community. And some of these women were like, okay, we're doing it. And they formed on Women of Faith. And that's how this has turned into, okay, now we're going to do a farm. So they vision, and that's kind of what it's about most of the time, just making that, taking the action. And these ladies certainly did. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
So then you had to go back down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I did the same thing going back down. And I really paid for it weeks later on my back. And, that's when I was starting to think through, and I'm like, what was I doing? It's like, Okay, I'm getting old. I need to know that. I need, when I was young, that was an easy trip, but it was fun. The good thing is, it was fun. And I really learned a lot along the way. You're like, you pass through all this, but at the end, God comes through. God is always faithful. Doesn't matter what you go through. So I was like, okay, that's a good lesson for me.
Well,
But
since
also never to take a picky to Mount Elgon. So
right, I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking maybe we need. It's like a little better version than a peaky. It's made to get over that. Do they have those there? Like the four-wheeler, like they're like a motorcycle, but they have four wheels.
Mm-mm.
Oh, gotta
No.
figure out how to get one there, because that would probably be a game changer.
Yeah.
That's
But
it.
now going down was fun, but it was scary because now it was too fast and slippery. So I
Oh,
was just holding on to I'm like, oh God, when will I get to the last place? It's like, okay. But yeah, I got home safe, so that was good.
yeah. Well, I know one thing I'm bringing you when I come is I'm going to bring you a. I'll have to go to the military surplus and see if I can. That jacket that I bring, the camp.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yes.
Vortex jacket. It is waterproof and it is warm. I'm
Yeah.
one of those because if you're going to be going up there,
Oh,
riding,
yeah.
then you also have the proper footwear to be going up. You don't need to be tromping around and like
Yeah.
shoes because like the
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
feet.
I was in my fashion boots and I'm like, oh God, what is happening? But at least I wore a boot. I was in my head, I wanted to put on, I've sat down for 8 hours. Why don't I just wear, a nice sandal? And then something was like, just wear a boot.
Oh,
But yeah.
see if you were wearing a sandal going up there.
But I think I'll get a nice boot for up there. And now when you bring me the jacket, because now I'm sure I'll be making more trips up there.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
definitely yeah, because that jacket is in the old pattern. I'm sure I can find one at a military surplus store. There's one in that I go to, and not far.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to be on my list to bring you. You need those.
Yeah.
Is that because it's got a hood too,
Mm-hmm.
so you can
Yeah.
hood up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
be rain gear ready
Oh yeah.
because it's being wet because you cannot get dry until you take off everything that's wet,
Mm-hmm.
cold, and bones get cold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was quite a journey.
Oh, well, I'm excited that this is getting started, and January is
Yeah.
just a corner. I mean, not the I don't know when you're going up there next, but make sure that Hezron gets some photos so we can share
Mm-hmm.
the progress.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm just excited for those ladies. And when I tell people the story, I'm like, I brought back half a suitcase of beads. Now we're starting a farm, and like, and
Yeah, it's
who
crazy.
next? Like I always think that God was like, you have no. If you say yes to this, you have no idea what's coming.
What's coming? It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad that you made it. So were you able to get a peeky out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you didn't have to walk too far out.
Oh no, I just we walked with Hezron for a few minutes and then we got a piki that was willing. All other pikis were like, no, we are not going down. So we got one that was willing to get me down. And yeah, I got down.
Was
Because he was now like
flip?
Hezron was like, you can stay up here. And I'm like, no, no. I was like, I just came from Nairobi last night. Please let me just go and sleep. So yeah, I got a piki down and then I got a matatu back to Kitale.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
that great soup that your sister
Oh
made?
yeah.
Oh,
I was like, I just want soup, chapati, and tea.
I you have to, I always ask about that. I just miss that soup.
Uh, yeah.
That was a chapati and stuff too, but that soup was like
Yeah, that soup is like, oh.
hot. Yeah.
Hmm.
Starting to get colder here, so I need some of that soup. I'm like send some through the airwaves. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for this venture, and I guess after we see how it works, we'll probably expand that up there. So,
Yeah.
listening who's interested in going to Kenya, Mount Elgon is one of the stops. There's a national park up there. There's some great accommodation up there, so it's beautiful. I mean, no, it's very green because it rains a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing. When I lived in England, it was like, oh, it's so green here, but it rained like every day. The sun would
Hmm.
come out in the morning, and then the clouds would come over, and it would rain, and everything was green, so it was great. But that's being by a river is great that they'll get water, but I'm sure that they'll get a lot of rain too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how it goes because farming here is different than that. That's farming up on a mountain with we have a lot of fancy machinery and stuff here, and things that do automatic watering and things like that. So I'm excited to see how it works. So how long does it take to plant? Do you know? I mean, what's the whole?
No, I
Uh,
don't know, but I know it's just a few weeks. Within weeks, everything is down, and people are waiting.
oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, this is a great time to do a donation for year-end tax purposes. Go to basketsandbeadskenya.org. The funds will either be applied to the farm or our school fee program. We're sponsoring 11 kids for school fees, and some of them are kids that board, so that costs a little bit more. They all have uniforms. One of the goals we are thinking about for our tailoring group is to have a shop and get them some contracts to make some school uniforms. So we're hoping
Hmm.
that's something that'll happen. That's something else we're working on in the background. But basketbeadskenya.org is the place to go for that. And with that, I will end today's broadcast and then catch up with Leila on the other side of this. So, anybody wants to donate, we would really just appreciate your support. We can't do this alone. There's been so many people that have helped, but we still need even $10. I have one person that donates $5 a month. That $5 helps. It helps a lot. It can buy several things. So, um, don't think that any amount is too little. So we appreciate any help and support that you can get. All right. Until next week, I will see you all later. Have a great day. Nakupenda.
Bye.